Welcome. This is a recap of the Monday, August 9th, 2021 City Council meeting. The first item on the agenda was to conduct an oath of office for our new police chief, Steve Scharr. So although he's been acting in that capacity while our last chief was on the remainder of his vacation time, we officially swore Chief Scharr in tonight, and his family was here, and it was a nice event. So we look forward to working with Chief Scharr. And as soon as he was sworn in, he gave us an update on the storm information from last week. We were hoping this would happen, but we found out that it did, that FEMA has qualified us for disaster relief. And because of that, we will be getting up to 70% of the cost of cleaning up after the storm. So it doesn't cover everything, but it certainly is helpful in a time of need. He mentioned that with a couple of exceptions, because of extreme issues, power was restored by Thursday of last week, 3 days afterwards. And I know that we have in part to thank, well, certainly we want to thank our public utilities, and then with assistance from Public Work and others, but also we had somewhere between 6 and 9 communities send help to help us get power restored. And so it was done much more quickly because of that additional help. And we thank those cities for doing so. And maybe we can return the favor in the future. It's much appreciated, neighbors helping neighbors. With that, we had council reports, and I took the opportunity and want to do so now to publicly thank our city staff that helped so much in the storm. Like I said, the public utilities group, along with Public Works and our police department and our fire department and our cemetery crew and others who really got the city back operating in a timely manner. And cleanup is, happened very quickly, and of course it's still happening, but really is amazing how fast and productive our city staff was in doing that. And having said that, maybe I just make a announcement here that the 2 of the brush collection sites, both on the 29th south, by Walmart, and then the 14th site in the north end of town, just east of the arena, west of the fairgrounds, are still open through this Friday. The fairgrounds site is closed, but there's one just a block to the west. So if you still have brush that you would like to get rid of, they are still accepting it. Councilmember Conley informed us that there are vacancies on the Human Rights Commission, if anybody out there would like to apply for that. Councilmember Adams talked about the 40th Tall Timber Days, that they had great attendance, and again complimented the city on the quick cleanup afterwards. And then Councilmember Blake discussed the normally at the fair each year they have a senior meal. This year, because of COVID regulations, they are doing it in a drive-through manner, and it will be at the Minor Pavilion, which is attached, well, not attached, but just north of the arena, and that will be happening this Thursday from 11 to 1. So seniors, while supplies last between 11 and 1, seniors can drive through and pick up a meal. Number of items under the consent agenda, but under the regular agenda, we approved the early retirement incentive agreements. We opened that up a few months ago, and 2 people took advantage of that. And we'd like to thank both Randy, our lead mechanic in the city, and Kelly, who works in Public Works and is our city arborist, amongst other things. Want to thank them for their years of service to the city. Having done that, we, because Randy was our lead mechanic, we appointed one of our mechanics to be now the lead mechanic, and then we authorized filling the mechanic position. Also in relation to this somewhat, we restructured the Grand Rapids Police Department. When the police chief retired and we promoted Assistant Chief Scharr to chief, The assistant position was open, and we approved tonight to eliminate the assistant chief position and instead open up 2 captains positions. And then we won't replace, as the dominoes fall there, well, actually, we will not replace a sergeant's position, and we assume we will have two sergeants move up into those captain positions. So between the early retirements and that police reorganization, we are saving the city roughly $200,000 in the present, and we will, continue to look at that as time goes on. We approved a 15-year franchise agreement for Paul Bunyan Rural Telephone Cooperative to operate in the city's right-of-way, which they've done in the past. We recently approved the same thing for Mediacom, and tonight did that for 15 years with Paul Bunyan. Then we had Rebecca Kurtz from Ehlers, our financial consultant, here to discuss the awarding of $1.235 million worth of general obligation utility revenue refunding bonds. At a previous meeting, we approved for our finance department to go out for bids, and today they came in. We were predicting a 1.61% interest rate, and it came in at 1.1, which is the best Ehlers has seen in the last couple of weeks. So with that, there will be a savings of $77,143, and that savings actually goes to Blandin. So this particular bond was funded in 2013 entirely by Blandin, and so this savings of $77,000 will go back to them. And so even though it doesn't save the city any money, it doesn't cost the city money, and we want to be good neighbors, and so we saw an opportunity and went out and refinanced that. A couple other items related to that is we approved an escrow agreement and a demand charge agreement relating to that. So again, it doesn't cost the city anything, and it saves one of our major employers in the city some money, and so we're glad to see that happen. And finally, we approved a purchase for a police vehicle tonight. This was is going to be part of the 2022 budget. There was an opportunity to save some money. There was just a couple left in the state available for this year. And because we can save some money over next year, we'll use our cash flow position to buy that early and save some money. And so this new police vehicle will replace a 2010 vehicle. And so we've gotten about 12 years out of service out of that vehicle. And so that was the last item on the agenda. We meet again on August 23rd at 5 o'clock and hope to see you then. Enjoy the nice weather.